Hey, Felicia. Or is it Felicia? Okay, I read it again and I was like, hold on a second. Cynthia, hello. Good morning, guys. You know what's fun is today you guys actually will get to do some unmuting and talking because we're just having fun today. Today's just we're literally playing 20 questions together. I've got fun questions and different people will get to answer. It's just a really fun kind of chill time. And then next week we're doing a really awesome business planning session to help you kind of create your business plan for 2026. Is it Chian or Cheyenne? I feel like I read your lips and it was Cheyenne. Is that right? No, am I way off? Wait, hold on. Let me unmute you. You could tell me how to say it right.
Cheyenne.
Oh, you know what? I should have known that. Come on. Oh man.
Thanks for trying though.
You know what? One thing about me is I'm brave. I'll do it even if I look like a fool. People have been on this call, they know. I've butchered some serious names, but I have tried to say them right.
All that matters.
Yeah. What's up, Anthony? Good to see you. Good morning. I'm so glad so many of you showed up. Jonathan, what's up? Good to see you. Today's gonna be fun, guys. We're literally just a little bit off script today where I thought I was trying to think of something fun to do like end of year. You know, like people are like end of year recaps, and that's like a big thing. And I can't make personalized recaps for you all, but well, what I thought would be fun is if we kind of just played 20 questions and I would occasionally unmute one of you to answer it, and we just kind of have fun together. And like I said, and I'll keep reminding you throughout next week, Laura Dahl's going to come on and she's going to do a really awesome business planning session for 2026. She does a great job. It's very, very thorough. You'll get like a whole workbook too that normally she charges a lot of money for. She's given to you for free. She does a great job. So I thought today we'll have a little fun. Then we'll get to some good planning. Um, Next week. And then after that, I think it's Christmas Eve. So I'm going to assume most of you will have your own plans. Well, it's funny you call me Beanie, Bonnie. Reminds me of like when I used to play on sports teams as a kid. There was this guy. He was a good guy. His name was Zach. He was so fast. And he'd be like, "What's up, Beanie?" It was good times. It's good times. He was a good dude. He was a great transformation story. He started as a bully to people, and then I don't know what changed, but I think there was just worse bullies than him, and he didn't like those people. So then he went from being a bully to standing up for people who were being bullied. I was like, that's a great transformation story. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. Because I think part of it was that he didn't know he was a bully. He grew up in a really hard life, and so his version of love was being mean. Like that's how he understood love was to be mean to people. And so that's just how he treated people. He's just mean to them, but he wasn't trying to hurt people. And then when he realized there were people here who were just trying to hurt others, then it was like, okay, I don't like that. That's a problem. It's a great kid. He had a brother named Jay, and I kid you not, Jay would always say that his name was spelled with just a single letter, and we always like, okay. And one day, after years of not believing him, he showed up with his birth certificate, and it literally has the letter J on it. That's it. I was like, okay, all right, dang, okay, you got me. I'm there. Yeah. Wow, so many of you guys showed up today. You all are just here for some fun, huh? Just having fun today. You're like, okay, okay, there's no intense talking today. We're just gonna have fun together. I see some new faces too. Love it. Welcome. So glad you're here, guys. I really am. All right, it's five after. Let's get started. So, just as a reminder, typically, most of you know this, we do our trainings. We're doing very specific, intentional things. We've got some great things lined up for next year. However, today we're going a little off script. We're going to have fun together and do 20 questions. We'll see how this goes. I kind of had the idea and I was like, I haven't seen anybody else do this, so I have no idea. But I think we have some good questions. We'll have some fun. Some of you, I'll actually unmute you and let you answer. Just as a reminder, we don't unmute anybody if they don't have their video on. You got to have your video on if you're going to be unmuted. Otherwise, you just type in the chat. So it looks like most of you are going to get to answer these questions amongst these video people here. But I think we're going to have a lot of fun. So let's just kind of get into it. Hello, William. Good to see you. Literally, good to see you, man. So happy. Let's see. Let me call some other people. I almost called out Lauren because there's two of them. I was like, Lauren, get your video on. Let's see. Juliet, Dana. Oh, that's Jackie. Okay. Jackie. uh Kari? Is that right? There's an H in there. Or is it just Carrie and the H is silent? I feel like you guys are gonna start just intentionally tweaking your names just to mess with me. That'd be funny. Kristen, Fiza. Let's get those videos on. Albert, what's up? There's a few others. Marge, Cheryl, Lisa, Phyllis, Celia, Angie. Wait, is there two Cheryls? Oh, there's two Cheryls. Okay. Juliana, Karen, anybody else I missed? Let's get those videos on, guys. Let's have fun today. Okay. So literally all we're gonna do is I'm not even gonna do the four commitments of the call. We're just gonna do some different questions. I'm gonna pick one of you guys. Uh if you have your video on, you have to have your video on, okay? And we're just gonna answer questions. Everybody else, you'll answer in the chat. So like if you didn't get selected for to answer with the video or the unmuting, then you'll just answer in the chat too, okay? And we'll see if this is fun or not, and we'll just see how it goes, okay? If it's horrible, smile through it. Tell me at the end, and I'll note that for next year, okay? So first question, we're gonna play some would you rather scenarios. Would you rather work with a buyer who insists on offering 100K below market, or a seller who believes their home is worth 100K above market? All right. If you want to answer it, turn your video on and do the little hand raise symbol or something like that. Everybody else, drop it in the chat. I want everybody to give their answers. This is fun. It's participating. There's no trick question. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's just you sharing your thoughts. And then who wants to explain why they answered they did? You guys gotta help me out because I can't answer for you. Who's gonna do it? Lauren's gonna do it. Okay, there. Asked to mute. Let's go, Lauren. Why?
I would rather work on a buyer who insists on offering 100K below market because I have worked with the sellers who believe their home is worth 100K above market, and that sucks. Way less effort.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
And a counter could come back
Oh,
where
that's true.
they learn a lesson.
That's true. I like it. I like it. Let's see. A lot of the answers. I'm curious, like, we're almost like polling at the same time, too. We're like basically doing a poll here, too. Let's see. Juliet says unrealistic buyer. Fiza says seller. Bonnie says seller. Anthony seller. Jonathan buyer. Angie said neither. She said, I'm out. No, thank you. Let's see. Celia buyer. So we're pretty split. Chris, I knew Chris was gonna say seller. I knew it all day long. Chris is always saying, "Give me the seller." Their house is on fire and they don't even own it. I'll take them. I'll take them. I can put out a fire. I can help them own the house too. Yeah. All right. So let's see. Someone said seller. Bonnie, tell me why you said seller then. So Lauren said buyer. You said seller.
I would really say neither, but neither one of those were the option. But I would work with the seller because then you can show them. I mean, it costs a lot more working with the seller, but talking to them initially, if they have a range, even though they're 100%, 100,000 over, if we work with the range where it's realistic, that they're willing to accept, even though they want 100,000 more, then I probably would work with them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
follow you. I follow you. Karen's a seller every day. Okay, I think the sellers might have taken the lead on that one. All right, let's get to the next question. Was that kind of fun, by the way? Can you tell me honestly, was it kind of fun to just have the little would you rather scenario and just okay, good. All right, I'm trying. Okay, it's hard. Chris and Walt know. I'm like, guys, I don't know what to do like at the end of the year type of thing because it's just we've covered a lot of topics for the last year. All right, so would you rather host an open house with nonstop traffic but zero real buyers? So they're not coming in, they're not signing in, they're not like showing you pre-approvals or anything like that. Or would you rather do a dead open house where one serious qualified buyer shows up? They actually show up, they actually talk to you, and we'll just assume they're all unrepresented to make this easy. Okay? Drop them in the chat. Lauren already said dead. Dead. Karen said no open houses. What are you talking about? 2 if I must. Chris says 2. Bonnie says open house with nonstop traffic. Okay. I actually think I would take the open house with nonstop traffic because I'm really confident in what I can do with that traffic, even if they're not serious. But I think that's just all the years of. Yeah, Bonnie, I want you to explain that though.
Okay. Sorry, I talk a lot. I would definitely choose by far the nonstop traffic because they may not be ready right now, but you don't know what they're, if you nurture them all along the way and you send them things, and you stay in touch with them, those will become great buyers, or they can send you referrals. So
I like it.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm someone who always believes in building an audience. And so for
yep,
me, while yes, obviously I want to get to the commission check as quickly as possible. Who doesn't? I also have the long-term goal of I need as many people as I personally, this is my thought process, as many people in my sphere, in my database that I can speak to because, and I think you've all learned this, and this is just my thought process, I'm sharing my thought process, is you've all learned that you can have an extremely qualified person who still doesn't end up closing. Oh, actually, we decided we're going to Florida. Actually, we just decided that my husband didn't get the job, my wife didn't get the transfer. Like, there's just so many things, and I'm like, if I just have more people, then when one flakes out, I'm gonna be okay because I have enough volume, right? It's just like if you only do one transaction a month and that transaction falls through, you're stressed. But if you're closing 3 a month and one of them falls through, you're like, all right, that really sucks, but I'm okay. I'm okay, right? Chris knows that, right? That's his everyday life. He'll be like, yeah, it really sucks that didn't go through, but thank goodness, I've heard him say this, but thank God I got another closing on Wednesday and I got another closing on Thursday. Like, right? All right, next one. This is fun, by the way. I don't know if you're having fun, but I am. So thanks for bearing with me. Would you rather take on 5 mildly motivated sellers or one ultra motivated buyer with a tight deadline? So 5 mildly motivated sellers, they're like, yeah, I mean, we'll sell if the price is right. And, that type of attitude. You guys have been through that, right? I mean, maybe, right? Or one ultra motivated buyer who is like, I've got to go. Like, I have got to get there. Okay. I ain't got no time. All right. Cynthia, what are you picking? I'm gonna, I know. You're like, well, it's not the same for me. Well, I mean, I guess in a way, from your perspective, it could be different, huh? I know it's different. And then Anthony, are you an agent? Have you been here before? I feel like I can't remember. All right, Anthony, I'm gonna mute you. You tell me what you're feeling. What you feeling on this?
I would go with the five mildly motivated sellers than the buyer. I mean, because I could still maybe neuter the sellers. You know, if they kind of like swing, I can at
Hmm.
least be talking to five people instead of just one person.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, you saying I can still work those five sellers. Chris made a good point in the chat. He said five motivated sellers will generate a ton of buyer leads if done properly. You might end up with that ultra motivated buyer on the other side. Right? I like it. And by the way,
And the
guys, all
possibilities of
answers,
referrals.
yeah, all answers are right here. These are just your perspectives, your opinions. We're just having fun. There's no coaching going on today. Well, okay, some will come out naturally. I can't help it. But I promise. I have a problem. I can't help but coach. All right, that was fun. Thanks, Anthony. I'm glad
You're
you're here, man.
welcome. Thank you.
And you're new. Keep coming. We'll
Yeah,
keep
December
supporting
1st,
you.
I came over. Or December 1st, I came to
Oh,
Epic
heck
from the.
yeah. Let's go. I love it. All right, next one. Would you rather chase down a lead who ghosts you 10 times or work with a client who blows up your phone every 5 minutes but will close? I know some of y'all don't know about this one. You just like, oh yeah, but they'll close. But some of you have pulled out your hair going, I'm losing my mind. Lauren says chase because I love the challenge. That's just how I pictured you said it. I'm a hunter. Most said the closer. Most said the closer. You know what we should do, by the way, just totally next year or sometime, we should have Walt, Chris, and I, because we run all the Agent Alliance stuff, do like a live game show thing. And then like you guys are you like influence it, and then we end up with like the results. You know what I mean? Like Chris gets something wrong, so he gets a pie in the face. And like we could just have fun stuff like that. Right? I think that'd be fun too. My brain can't help it. I'm thinking all this stuff. Let's see. Isn't there a board game like this? I would imagine so. I have actually other questions other than the would you rather. I just thought those were the easiest ones to warm up with. Then we're gonna get to into like some really positive, almost like emotional ones. Like here's some really positive things, then some difficult ones. Yeah. Chris, it's more of just getting something wrong so you get a pie in the face. I think that would be, yeah. Well, maybe you take off the hat, you shine the head, and then we do a pie on the head, right? And then we'll style like the whipped cream into hair. It'll be beautiful. All right. It definitely seems like number two won. I think Lauren was. Oh no, and they said I'll take the chase. I'll learn so much. That's a good attitude. I like that. You'll learn a lot on the chase. I will tell you that. Um, I think I learned more from chasing leads who never responded than I did leads who did respond. Simply because I had to start getting creative. I can't get them to respond. I'll try this. Still hasn't respond. I'll try this. When obviously someone immediately responds, that's great, and I'm very happy about that. But that's easier. They're talking to me, right? I mean, the second one on here, of course, it's easier, right? Because the truth is, like, at least they're communicating. Even if they're annoying as heck, like, you can still close someone who is relentlessly talking. You can. I It's like when I put my daughter to bed at night. This girl will not stop talking. I'll be like, okay, good night, I love you. And then she'd be like, uh-huh. And then I did this thing on Pikachu. And then I'm like, okay. And then she'd be like, I'll just start closing the door. And she'll just keep talking. And then the door's closed and I hear her and she's still talking. It's amazing. She's like, I'm going to say what I'm going to say, whether you're here or not. All right, only a couple more left of these, and then we'll do the new ones. All right. Would you rather have a listing that needs heavy repairs but is priced right? Okay, so it needs a lot of work, but they're reasonable in that price. Or a pristine home with a brick wall seller, right? They just are difficult and they fight everything. Hey, could we just have that? There's this $100 credit here. And they're like, no, not even $100. My home is perfect. And Chris said, give me the repairs, baby. Especially you, Chris, because you got vendors everywhere. You've done remodels and flips and all that. So repairs, repairs, repairs. I'm gonna have to agree with you guys on this one. I would definitely pick the repair as well. Chris, why don't you share a little bit more why you would prefer the repairs?
So I have a huge network of vendors, and I have very affordable vendors compared to what most people think they're going to have to pay. Like coming in, what if you Google flooring guy, that my guy's probably going to come in at half or less of what your Googled flooring people are going to come in at. And HVAC, my last HVAC guy saved my client $4,000 versus what everybody else was quoting. He got like 4 other quotes and then was talking to me, and I'm like, dude, those quotes are high. Let me get you another guy out there. I saved my client $4,000 before listing. And like, I just know that I have all of these things. So then it gives me an opportunity to plug my vendors, which the more I plug my vendors, the more they help me, right? It gives me an opportunity to show my sellers all of my skill sets and start to earn more referrals and more trust. Because once you save somebody 4, 5, 6, $10,000, $20,000 on repairs, and they look at you like, how the heck did you do that? You know that you are now the trusted source, and that's going to continue on. They're not going to go anywhere else. I just saved them more money than what I'm going to make on my commission from having contacts and resources. So that's why I look at that. Plus, if a house needs repairs and it's priced right, depending on how priced right that is, I probably have an investor that'll buy it, and then I'll get paid on the front end and then get a relist on the back end. So
Love it.
depends on what that verbiage of price right means. So that could be, a sliding scale.
It
I tell
definitely is.
everybody
I did not
there's
put much detail into priced right.
there's wholesale pricing, right? There's mid-tail buyers that are going to buy it and live in it and will do the repairs themselves, and there's retail buyers that are willing to pay full retail market for something that doesn't need repairs. So you kind of have sliding scale there, but it all depends on how motivated that seller is and how priced right it is. So if I can get paid twice, I would love to. So
Now I'm curious, would anybody take option number 2? Would anybody take that between the two? Bonnie said yes. I said yes. And they said no. Wait, I thought you liked Jason, the challenge.
looking at all of Bonnie's answers, she's against the grain on the majority of these things. She's
I
like
know.
going where everybody else won't go.
She's like, to be honest, I wanted option 1, but since everybody else did it, there's no way. I am not conforming. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Honestly, you'll learn a lot from option number 2, just like difficult ghosting leads. You'll learn a lot from it, though. I think when I first got started in real estate and I got my first seller, I just was very starry-eyed. Oh my gosh, like if they're going to work with me, I'm going to sell this house and it's going to be great. And then you just learn that every seller, for the most part, it's very rare, every seller believes that they know best. I know the value of my home best. I know what's best for repairs. I know what's best for everything. Now, there are exceptions, right? I know a few, but for the most part, you don't really have that. They're just not. They just have that emotional connection with that home, and so they take it personal. Everything, they have their personal opinion. All right, 2 more on these, and then we'll do some new ones. Would you rather cold call for an hour or door knock for an hour? I'm curious about this one. Door knock. Honestly, Bonnie, if the weather's nice, I think I'd pick door knocking. I like walking. I like getting exercise. That's kind of, I mean, I was on the treadmill right before I jumped on here. So I think for sure cold call. But I will say for convenience, I'd pick cold call. For convenience, I'd pick cold call because I can just do it anywhere, anytime. I think cold call, but more of you said door knocking than I expected. I like that. I like that. That's fun. That's fun. You hate cold calling, Bonnie, but you do door knocking. Karen says, door knock, I guess. She's like, you giving me way too many things I ain't gonna do. Come on now. Get out of here. Karen says, stick needles in my eyes. I'm guessing you're not a fan of either option. All right, Faiza, are you there? I think you are. You want to unmute and share why you'd pick cold calling? Here.
Yeah, I would not want to get cursed on my face.
Yeah. That's a very real thing that can happen in door knocking, by the
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
I was volunteering one time for a political campaign, and I was only handing out the flyers, and there's a guy, he actually pushed me, like physically.
Whoa.
And since then, I'm like very careful. I keep very big distance between me and the person. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he was a very old guy. He wasn't some young guy or anybody like physically fit or anybody. I was like, "Oh, would you like it?" I was very nice to him, and he just like didn't even say anything, just looked at me and pushed me. And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Wow. Guys, men, we don't do that. No. I'm glad you're okay, by the way, especially
Yeah.
with the way the world is going so polarizing.
Yep.
Yeah. Honestly, I I used to I really didn't mind door knocking that much, but I will say I think people have gotten a lot meaner, and a lot more robust with their demeanor. I'm trying to be very respectful here. Um, and so and then I also carry, for those who don't know me, I carry a gun, right? Because I grew up in very, very poor neighborhoods. I mean, I've had windows shot out and stuff like that. And so I also know that where people are very, very tense right now. So I think door knocking's great. But I think what you do is you have to like have a really, really like friendly way. You stand back from the door, like you make it really clear. I would even bring like some sort of very obvious thing, like a disarming type of thing, right? A sign, a gift, right? Something that where they check that camera, they go, okay, I don't feel threatened, right? You've got to disarm people, or else they're never going to even open that door. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do too, Bonnie. I step far back from the door, and I just try to make sure I've got a smile on my face because I know they're watching through the camera. So I'm just sitting back there. I'm just like, doo doo doo. And then, like, even sometimes I'll just start talking. I'll literally just start talking. If I see they have that camera doorbell, I'll just start talking. I'll be like, hey, listen, I know you probably don't like people door knocking. I stepped back. Okay, I just want to give you some space. Uh, here's the situation, right? Like I'll make jokes, I'll be silly, and then most of the time, like people are really receptive. Doesn't mean they always answer the door, but they're still much more receptive. And I always make sure when I door knock, I have something to leave, either on the doorstep or the mailbox if they have that. A lot of places don't have mailboxes anymore in big metro cities. But yeah. All right, last one for the would you rather's. We're doing pretty good, actually. I think we're having fun, right? I hope you guys are having fun. um, would you rather get 10 unqualified leads per day or one highly qualified lead per week? What do you think? Felicia says 10. All right, while people are answering, Felicia, I want you to share why you picked 10 unqualified leads per day.
Because I can turn it into a lot more.
She's like, they ain't gonna be unqualified for long.
That's right.
I like that confidence. You said unqualified. Not if I have a say about it.
Right.
Lord says 10. They will be qualified one day. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's fun. Okay, one per week. We're pretty split on this one. We're almost like 50-50 here. Okay, all right. I like it. I like it. We're like really split here. This is fun. Anthony's got that hustle. He's like, I'll take the 50 per week. You know, we didn't even say business days. So really, right? Right? Like, oh, I
Right.
guess that wouldn't make a difference. I said 10 per week. Oh no, it did say per day. Okay, never mind. I did say per day. Yeah, so that's I didn't say business days. So that's 70 leads per week. You're gonna fill up your database pretty fast with that. That was my strategy. Just so you know, getting into real estate, my strategy was just get as many leads as I possibly could. I didn't even know how to qualify them, but I just knew I would kind of figure it out. Like things would not work. I'd fail, and then I'd go, "Oh, okay, so that's what I needed to do." Okay, lesson learned. All right. Um, these ones are shorter. So now just some positive wins that we could share and have fun together. So, what was the best moment you had in real estate this year? It could be like the most expensive home you sold, the best open house. It could be an unexpected thing that happened that was really, really just so positive. But I'd love for us to share some very positive wins. The best moment you had in real estate this year, whatever that means. Chris, do you got one that comes to mind? Just to kick it off for us? If you do, I'll unmute you. I just don't know if you do. I don't want to put you. I'll tell you what, I'll unmute you. You'll think of something.
Best moment I had in real estate this year. So I got an estate sale lead. So this person, my estate sale guy, actually didn't even end up doing the estate sale for them, but referred me over the business for the listing. Went out, met with the seller, and she was getting cash offers on her home, anywhere from 275 to 300,000. So I said, you know what? Look, your home's worth a lot more than that, but with the amount of work it needs, that's why you're getting the offers that you're getting. So I said, I'll go ahead and give you a baseline value of 300. I'll do a JV with you. I'll partner. I'll put my own money in to fix your property up, and then we can split the profits on the back end. So I ended up putting about $50,000 of my own money up front between doing repairs, paying her mortgage payment, giving her some working capital to live off of, yada, 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 over the course of probably 5 months, 6 months from the start to finish. But we closed last week and we split. So I got paid my commission. So I got paid 3%. That was separate from the JV partnership split. I got all of my money back, and she and I split an $84,000 profit 50-50. So I made 42 grand profit off of a $465,000 home sale, along with my 3% commission, and took care of a lot of stuff. So the way I look at that is how many deals do I have to do from just listing homes for people to make $42,000, which is usually quite a few if you're looking at average price points and splits and cost and all the different stuff. So for me, I was able to do less transactions and make more from one partnership like that. But then she ended up making probably about $40,000 to $50,000 more total than she would have if she had done something without me involved. Right?
I love it. I think that's a great win. Yeah.
That's
creative.
My favorite win of this year, I think, on that situation for me and her both.
I got one for you guys, actually. Now that I think about it, Chris sharing that story. So, when I first got started in real estate, I got a lead that I was working, and he wanted to buy a piece of land, and he lived out of state. And I checked all the boxes. I had just become a team leader, and so then it was my first time leading a team, and I had this agent. I was like, I'm gonna help her out with this lead. She's gonna do all the work on it, and I'll just kind of guide her if she needs to help. And I accept responsibility for this. So I'll say it was her mistake, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna accept responsibility. So a big mistake that happened was she sent all the pictures, did all the videos for him, but she never actually walked the land herself. Well, the pictures don't show that for what he wanted to do, which was build houses and stuff on it, it's incredibly sloped. You are not building. Even, and then way, 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 way far away is where the actual, it doesn't show it well on the map, but where the actual permits are, the septic permits. And so just to make it clear, it would have cost him about $30,000 just to do the rock, not pavement, rock, to get to where he could actually build the house. So naturally, he's like, $30,000 out of pocket, and we haven't even built the house yet. But he did buy the land. That's the thing. We didn't discover this till after he bought the land. I feel horrible because I'm like, I assumed, big mistake. If you guys don't know, assumptions are horrible. I assumed she walked the land and communicated this to him. My fault as a leader for not verifying. Okay. Now, you might be like, why is that a best moment? Because that was years ago. And then earlier this year, I think it was maybe back in May, something like that. Because I ended with, his name was Scott, and I ended the transaction years ago with Scott. And I said, Scott, I know I let you down. I did. I failed you. And I'm really sorry. And if there's ever an opportunity I have to make this up for you, whether it's reselling it and I do it for free and I pay for everything, right? I'll even put in my own money to run ads to really just try and get you, this out of your hands and stuff like that. And he never really, he was very upset, and he never really talked to me again after those years. I did keep up with him though. Every now and then I would just, I want that like relief, right? I want that closure. He's okay. You know what I'm saying? And then never a response. And then earlier this year, I get a text and he goes, Robert, are you still, it's Scott. And he goes, Robert, are you still in Murfreesboro? And do you still sell real estate? And I said, well, yeah, that's why I followed up with you so many years. But no, yes, I am. And he said, well, I've been trying to sell the land. I had an investor come in and offer me X amount of dollars. And it didn't work out with him, and I'm just kind of fed up. I can't figure out how to sell it. And I said, Scott, let me sell it for you for free. I told you my word's good. I'm gonna make this up to you. And he said, no. I want to pay you. I want to pay you. I'm like, I don't deserve the pay, but okay, if you want to pay me, fine. So then I brought in an agent on my team. We worked hand in hand on this. Lesson learned, because it was a much better location for him to go out. And here's what ended up happening. This is what's crazy. Now, remember, I said I started this relationship, or rather the first transaction was ended in failure. I did a bad job, but I took complete ownership, right? I didn't even blame anything to him on the agent. I followed up with him. I didn't assume that this was the last chance I'd have to do a good thing in his life. Instead, I believed that there would be another time that I could do good in his life, and I'm not going to give up on that belief. And I didn't. Then he comes out of nowhere, and he was like, I've talked to other agents, and to be honest, I just trust you more because you were the one who told me the truth. You took ownership. Now, this is what's crazy that happened. Not only did he give us the listing, we were able to get him an additional $100,000 more than what the investor was going to pay for it. And on top of that, you guys ready to have your mind blown? He paid us 10%. Is that not insane? And it started with failure and taking complete ownership and saying, I will do everything in my power. And there was no scenario in my head that ended like this, just to be clear. This was just, I want to have a clear conscience. So I will take ownership. I will rectify my mistakes, right? And that's it. There was no scenario where I ever made a dime from him ever again. That did not exist. Okay? So I wanted to share that because I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was a really awesome story. We're talking like 3 years later, too. Okay? Felicia says, getting my license last week and joining Epic. Let's go. Come on now. Congratulations. And Anthony, right? Is brand new too, coming in. I love it. Karen said, a buyer said I had great energy and good hair. That's a good day. Let's go. The buyers could say a lot of other things. I will take good energy or great energy and good hair all day long. Chris, if he's got anybody saying he's got good hair, he's real happy. He's real. He's like, yes, I do. I love it. All right, next question. What's the most unexpected lead you ever received this year? Anybody got a good one for that? Just came out of nowhere. I feel like my story was the one. That was a lead I definitely didn't expect. What you guys got? Bonnie got one? All right, while everybody else is typing, let's have Bonnie share.
Okay, so one thing that I have learned is you just talk to everyone about real estate. You just do, you make it in a conversation somehow. And don't disqualify your vendors. And I say that because, like, we've had some work done in our house since the 4 years we've lived here. One of them was, a couple of hurricanes ago, we knocked out half of our fence got knocked down, and we hired a company to come out to do it. And talked to the owner of the company. And my husband actually pitched me to him, but I wasn't even there. And then I went and I pitched myself. I just said, listen, you did such a great job. If you're ever in the need, or you hear of anybody that might need to buy or sell, I'm in real estate. So I would love to be able to be of service to you. Anyways, that was a year ago. And we decided that we wanted to fix the other half of our fence, replace the other half that needed to be done. So I called him up. Actually, before I even did that, his wife does the work on the inside of his business.
Sure.
And I had talked to her, and I said, hey, I had a nice conversation with your husband. We talked about a little bit about real estate, and just wanted to let you know that he may have told you that I'm a realtor, and I talked to her too. Anyways,
I love it. Definitely tell the wife without a
right,
doubt. Yeah,
for sure. And she said, that they were selling a house that was in probate a while back. And anyways, so a year goes by. We want to replace the other side of the fence. And I had called and left a message and said, hey, I don't know if you still have quotes that we asked for or whatever. She had called me back and said, it wasn't even about the fence. She called me back and said, you know what? It is so odd that you called me right now, because I was going to call you. I looked at your website after talking to you, and I want to sell a house and buy
there we
another
go.
one. And her house, I looked it up just the other day, and it's over $1 million. And the one she wants to buy is in the 800s. So don't disqualify your people. But I have to
I
say
love
that
that.
when I have people work from the vendors, I boost them. Like, I send all my vendors, whether they come back to me or not, I post comments, I put them on our vendor site. I always talk to them about that I'm a realtor, and I'd like to be if they do a great job, especially, and they don't charge exorbitant amount of money, and they're licensed and insured.
Which is nice.
I boost them up in all kinds of places. So don't disqualify that. Just saying.
Amazing. I love it. Yeah, like honestly, guys, we should do a documentary sometime, hire a film crew to follow Chris around, because he'll just make deals with everyone. Uber driver, the TSA agent as we're going through the airport. I mean, it doesn't the waitress, it doesn't matter. He's gonna find a way to make a deal. And I love that mentality, and we should all have that mentality in everything that we do, which is, how do I create something positive out of this opportunity? You have an opportunity, you're sitting there and talking to them anyway, you might as well. Lauren just said it right there. My first client that I got on my own that I fired has turned into 6 different contracts. You just never know. Like Bonnie's story, you just never know what might come out of those relationships. Crazy. You almost recruited a TS officer, checking passport. Who recognized you? He recognized you? Dang. Real estate famous over there. I love it, man. That's so much fun. But yeah, seriously, guys, you should always be looking for a way to use the skills that you have to bless and serve others and help them accomplish what they want in life. So it's not about going and selling yourself. I know a lot of people say that. I don't really like that term. It kind of, I think, I understand the intent behind it, but I think it really paints the wrong picture. listen to others and find a way to be useful to them, to take the skills that you have to be useful to their goals and dreams. And you will just get so much farther. Like Bonnie just said, I boost them. I really support them. Chris said that earlier. Man, I send my vendors deals. I take good care of them. I do not take them for granted. I build them up. Chris says, I only sell my feet pics, not my whole self. Oh, Chris, you crack me up, man. You crack me up. But seriously, like, and everywhere you go, I know this is hard for a lot of us, but we should treat people abundantly good. We should really try to go above and beyond. I'll give you some examples, right? If you have delivery drivers, which I'm pretty sure all of you do, have the water and the snacks in a little thing for them to take, right? Chris knows this. I send gifts sometimes to staff that support our transactions. People do not get much care in their life. Everybody's in it for themselves. When you just go a little bit above and beyond, right? Bonnie said it with the vendors, boosting them up. But also, if they're in the house, you want some water? Are you hungry? Right? I got a plumber that comes in. There isn't a single technician that has ever been to my house that I have not been like, do you need water? Do you need food? Is there anything I can pray about? How's your family? I'm going to take good care of you. And you're going to leave feeling like, wait a second, was it a service call for him or was it a service call for me? Like, they won't even know, right? I love it. All right. What's one moment this year where you genuinely surprised yourself? Who's got one for that, right? You're just like, wow. Maybe it's like you pulled something off that you didn't think was possible. Maybe it's you overcame a struggle, an obstacle. Keep it PG. Real estate related, but maybe it's you overcame something, some mental barrier that's been in your way for a long time. What's one way though this year that you just genuinely surprised yourself? Chris said he regrew his hair and then lost it again. It was a very big high and a very big low. It's funny too. Chris and I'm always commenting on his lack of hair, and he's always commenting on how much I have too much hair. So it's pretty funny that I just realized that, Chris. I never even realized that. That's pretty funny. Bonnie says, I'm still in real estate after 2025. Let's go. Okay. There's a lot of agents who are not still in real estate. That's a pretty big win. You do. You comment it all the time. I said, you comment about my hair more than my wife does. I landed my biggest deal of my career. What do you mean likely from Facebook? Here, let me unmute you. We'll make that easier.
It was 1,200 acres, like $2.6 million, and I feel like that may be my biggest sale for my career.
But you said likely from Facebook?
I could have put a comma there. Likely my biggest deal. Yeah, I got it from Facebook.
Okay, I was confused. I was like, you don't know where they came, which happens, by the way. So that's not a judgment. There's plenty of times where I have a lead.
I keep a list of where everything comes from.
I assumed so with you. I assumed so. Yeah. Okay, so the biggest deal of your career, and it was from Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. What on Facebook? Was it a marketplace? Was it
It was a group.
meme?
A guy said he needed land on water or with an airstrip, and somebody told him that he'd never find it. And I was like, bull crap, we'll find it.
There we go.
And we did.
I like it. So let me ask you this. What surprised you? How did you surprise yourself with this?
That I didn't think that I could get that caliber of client, who just has $3 million in cash to drop on 1,200 acres because he wants to raise bees.
I like that. I like that. Unexpected. I really like that you just saw for yourself. You're like, wait a second, I can do this. Like, this is something that is yeah, that's awesome. That's a nice surprise for yourself. Anybody else got one? I want to hear some more. How did you genuinely gonna take a lot of honey to pay that off? Listen, have you ever seen how much honey can go for? Liquid gold. I love honey. We go through so much honey in my house too. Mm, I like honey. Honey sticks, organic honey. I even eat honeycomb. Um, sometimes pollen pellets. And if I'm really, just feeling fancy, I'll even get that Manuka honey from New Zealand. All right. Yeah, plain Greek yogurt with honey. There we go. That's a good morning. Mm-hmm. I'm happy with it. Yeah. Who else has got some moments where they surprised themselves this year? Surely you guys can't be just Lauren. Okay. We got to have some more. We got to have some more. I see some typing. Every day is a gift. That is true. That's also not the answer. Unless you're saying I surprised myself with realizing that every day is a gift. I'll let you have that one. Felicia said, "Pass my test on the first try." Not commonly, Felicia. So well done. That is not common. Like driver's tests. Like what is it? Like 50%, 40% or something? Like it's a pretty staggering number. Anthony, changing brokerages. It was a surprise for yourself. So you said you're new, and then you also changed brokerages in that time. Is that right? Am I understanding that correctly? I just want to. What's up, Annie? Good to see you. Glad you're here. Who else has got some ways that you surprised yourself? And again, for those of you who joined late, normally we do coaching sessions. Today we were just having a lot of fun. We did would you rather questions in the beginning, and now we're doing some positive wins and stories and stuff like that. Oh, and then when you said you were new, did you mean new to the brokerage and or the call? Dude, okay. Man, my bad. I was treating you like a new agent over there. You're like, listen here, son. I was changing brokerages while you were changing diapers. Like, yeah. I love it, man. I love it. That's awesome. Okay, let's see. Oh, this one's good. Okay. It's kind of like the same question, but no one else saw it. So, like, what's one thing? What's like one win or accomplishment? And we can do personal here. Maybe you got to the gym again and you stuck with it. Like, just a really positive thing that you're super proud of for yourself that maybe no one else saw. I want to hear those. Those are awesome ones. Oh, and you guys, all of you should be responding. Every one of you has definitely done something you're proud of that maybe nobody else acknowledged or saw or even knew about. And again, we can do personal there too, right? It could be you lost some weight. Maybe you put on some muscle. Maybe you changed brokerages. I don't know. Well, I guess people saw that one. That probably doesn't count. I want to hear. I do. I know you guys. Lauren, did that seriously happen? Because I remember all the times you being on the call in the office. Okay, well, we gotta talk about that. Come on now.
You didn't notice the blurred background of my house instead of the blurred background of my office?
I just figured working from home, or maybe Wednesdays were your day off now. It's shifts.
Nope, I quit August 19th because my birthday was the 20th, and I was like, I will not be here for my birthday. So,
Wow, I didn't notice until now.
yeah.
Man, that is so exciting. Okay, that is amazing. Congratulations on getting to go full time in real estate. When did you know it was time? What happened? What was the big thing that happened? You're like, "Oh my gosh, it's time. I'm going full time."
So it wasn't real estate related, it was kid related. My boss was kind of giving me a bunch of crap about having to take my kids to the dentist because I have 3 girls. And
I feel
one
like
day,
girls go to the dentist more. That's what it sounded like.
no, I just have
I
a
have
lot
3
of
girls.
kids.
We're at the dentist
Yeah.
every day.
It's crazy if you only have one kid, and then I only had one kid
Okay,
for a
so it's
while,
just
then
the
I got married
quantity
at
of
2.
kids, not
Yeah, it's
okay.
more kids, more problems, essentially.
Yeah.
And they were just giving me a bunch of crap. And on the first day of school, my daughter missed the bus because it came an hour early, and she asked me to take her to school, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble." And she was crushed. Her little face just fell, and she was so disappointed. So I was like, "You're gonna have to miss school on the first day, and I'm sorry." And then I was like, "What am I doing? Disappointing my kids for this crap job that I don't even want to be at?" So I stayed home, took her to school, and then I went in and put in my notice, and here we are.
Dang. I'm so proud of you, Lauren. That's a
Thank
big deal.
thank you.
That's so amazing. And a lot of people don't know that. And so I'm really glad you share that with you. And it looks like Cheyenne said she is going to be joining you soon.
Yay!
Let's go full time. It's awesome. Let's see. Ruth says I was able to motivate a totally unmotivated buyer. I love that. Oh, you even cherry picked from her daily MLS. That's a very smart strategy, just so you guys know. If you feel they're worth the investment of time, a lot of people do not actually look at the properties that you send them. Or if they do, they just skim it. I mean, we just assume that they're looking. Guys, remember what we said? Assumptions, bad. Bad, 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 bad. If they're worth the time, all right? If they're qualified, they're friendly, right? Or maybe they're just a new client, so you're gonna give them a little extra attention. But that's great, Ruth. That's a very smart thing for you to do. Like you said, she didn't really look like it. Look at them. You said you put the pressure on. You're like, no, we're doing this. I'm a very vocal person with my clients. I'm the leader. Absolutely. I'll teach them and I'll guide them and I'll let them make as many decisions as they can, and I'll do it respectfully. I want them in certain decisions, I want them to come from them, but I'd make it really, really clear how the relationship works and how we're going to do things. And I absolutely have heart to hearts when those things are not happening. My family counts on me to manage my time wisely. That means I have to manage my relationships wisely, because that's where most of my time is spent, right? That was a good line. I should save that one. Karen says, rescued a frail elderly cat who is learning to be a loving indoor cat. What? I need a hero. I just picture the music coming on. I love that, Karen. That's so awesome. Bye, Felicia. I love that. You guys are amazing. This is fun. All right, we're at the end. So, all right, I don't quite have. I have one. This is the last question I want to ask, but where did it go? Oh, there we go. I gotta find it. Give me a second. I'm looking at my. Here it is. Okay, last question for everybody, which is, what's one thing you're planning to do differently next year to get more consistent closings? At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that's the goal. So I just want to hear from you. What's one thing you're planning on doing differently? Emphasize the word differently, right? So you have not done it this year. Maybe you've done pieces of it. Maybe you've done it inconsistently, right? Or maybe you're making a big change, right? But let's hear it. No worries, Dana. See you next time. It was great to have you. I know we're right at that 10 o'clock. So last question. So Lawrence, now Lauren, did you already rent it? Did it just happen? So it's really kind of like just going into, yeah, okay. Rented an office space to get away from distracting house and time block my schedule to use that time wisely. Two really great things. Really great things. Yeah. Distractions are real, and a lot of us, we just don't acknowledge that. It's like we don't want to admit that we're as distracted as we are. Like we don't want to admit that the phone, and we end up looking at shorts and reels and all those things more than we should, and scrolling on Facebook more than we should. And the kids, right? My kids, since I work from home, my kids are often a distraction, and it takes a lot of willpower for me to stay focused, do my job, right? They're counting on me. They're counting on me to do my job. So I love that you took those steps, Lauren. That's awesome. Karen says, schedule follow-up time every week, at least 2 hours one day, ideally 2 days a week. That's great, Karen. I love doing clusters of work, right? Of tasks. I don't really like spreading them out over a week. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to sit down and get my follow-up done. And then I'll feel good because my follow-up's done. And that's how I am with like lead gen, follow-up, most things. So I'm with you on that one, Karen. Let's see. Ruth says consistent CMA per day to my sphere of influence and farm. That's a great strategy. CMAs, I brought Cody out on here one time, and he does open houses. But part of what he does with his open houses is he just sends CMAs to everybody around the open house for months. And Cody closed 210 transactions this year by himself. 210. You want to do some math on that? Yeah. Cody doing all right. Right? And but one of his favorite things is just sending CMAs. If he's got an address, you're getting a CMA. Whether you ask for it or not, you're getting one. He will email it if he has your email. He will text it if he has your phone number, and he will absolutely drop it off on your door. He does door knocking to offer CMAs, all of that. I love it. Fiza says, trying to be more consistent with my Ari, is that real estate? Just being more consistent in real estate? Is that what you're saying? And he says, just got an office space and it's a huge help. It really is, right? Like, we all like to think we're more capable than we are in certain areas. But the truth is that if you don't have the willpower to say no to a distraction, then you have to remove yourself from the distraction entirely. So there's nothing wrong with that, and it's very good business practice. So you guys are being really smart by taking those drastic steps to get yourself away from distractions. Bonnie says, I'm going to be focusing on one niche. Or do you guys say niche? No, that should have been one of the questions. We should just had a random one there. Niche or niche? That is new to me. I like it. Starting a small farm and newsletter. I'm big on newsletters, man. Newsletters are great. Anthony says, already started my prospecting daily, networking, and talking to everyone, getting it going. My man. There we go. Felicia says, going in, getting as many attorneys as possible, family and estate. We love that. Yeah. Chris has talked about that. Walt talks about that too, estate attorney. So that's great. Family can be great too. Estate's particularly good. So, and I'm sure we'll do an extra training on that. And then if you go to our YouTube, we have past trainings on estate as well. Paralegal for 30 years, which means you speak their language. You got a good in through the door. So I would definitely leverage that. Not to mention, I mean, if you can build relationships with those who are lawyers and or on the upper side of the legal side, they got money, which means they're probably going to be relatively qualified to buy a home and or sell a home. So you speak attorney. That's right. Probate. Love it, guys. This is amazing. All right. Now, I lied. I had one last question. What did you guys think of today's call? Did you have fun? Is this something you would want to do again? We do once a month, we do the best and worst of recaps. Should we replace it with something more engaging, kind of like this, where we just, I want to throw in some like other random scenarios. I also want to try on the next one, like some scenarios that you're like, would you rather crawl through a window loaded with spider webs to unlock the door from the inside because the lockbox doesn't work, or right? Like I want to bring some of those scenarios too. I think those would be really fun. So what do you guys think? Instead of like, because this year we did once a month, we would do the recap at the first of the month, which was, right, just a recap of all the training we did that month, in the previous month. Should we do something like this instead, where we just have a lot of fun together and we ask a bunch of questions and have fun, and then all the other days of the month we do all the other Wednesdays of the month we do our normal training? It sounds like that. Okay, sweet. We'll test it out. I liked this a lot. This was fun. It's really good to get to hear from you guys, to hear your stories, to hear your wins, to hear your failures that turned into wins. It's just it was a lot of fun. I really like my time with you, and I hope you guys enjoy this a lot too. For anybody, again, just one last time, if you were here and you're like, "What the heck was this?" I thought this was a coaching call. This was a test to see if we could do something really fun and social, with hidden lessons inside that some of us didn't even expect. But normally on Wednesdays, we do a coaching call. So, but it sounds like we're gonna be turning around and trying this out first Wednesday of the month. Probably won't do it in January though, because we just did it now. And then we're doing one more call next week. Laura Dahl is coming in and doing business planning for your 2026. It's a great call. She's got a great workbook that goes with it. It's definitely worth your time. I mean that sincerely. There's a lot of business planning that isn't, but I actually went and kind of looked through it. Laura Dahl's amazing. She's a great leader. So make sure you're here next Wednesday, and then there'll be no calls after that for the rest of the year. It always sounds like so long. For the rest of the year. And then we'll get back into our normal Wednesday routine starting in January. So next week, last call, business planning 2026. Appreciate you guys. Have an amazing week. Newsletters on Friday. I don't know what I'm going to put in it for this. So I don't know what to say. I don't know what we're going to send on Friday, if we even send anything on Friday, because I don't know what we're recapping. Maybe the questions? I don't know. Maybe we'll do questions that you can ask your clients to get engagement, kind of like this. Maybe we'll do something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, guys. I'll see you next Wednesday, and have a great day. Have a great week.